thank you, Joe Theismann, for stopping by. Boy, what a great storyteller he is right there.
Very down-to-earth man.
Yeah, very down-to-earth here. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm a Moose. That here is a doctor of sports. And over there is the judge. All rise, all rise. This is the sports report for 9/9/13, the Pro Edition. All the national news sports led by the doctor of sports. I got a doctor. Take it away, Einstein.
Well, it's the first Monday where you can be the Monday morning quarterback. You know, we had a full slate of games yesterday, NFL. Speaking of, and actually they got it done. They got the season started a little earlier than that. Thursday nighter, they had the Super Bowl champion Ravens. They flew all the way out to Denver to take on Peyton Manning and the Denver Broncos. The Von Miller-less Denver Broncos. That didn't really matter too much.
No,
not in that game.
No, because I think I read there was a thunder delay at the beginning of the game, and then by the end of the game, the only thunder was the thunder coming from Peyton Manning's right arm.
Thunder!
Peyton Manning passed for over 400 yards and tied a record with 7 touchdowns. It's going to take some quarterbacks a few weeks to get 7 touchdowns total this year. He had an all-in-one game, and people who drafted him in fantasy football, they were...
And his receivers.
Oh, boy. Wow. I mean, what a game. What a special way to start a season, and that shows why the Broncos are a team people have been favoring.
And it serves me right for taking the. If you saw my Facebook post, I took the Texans over the Broncos in the AFC Championship game. Serves me right, at least after 1 week.
And I mean, it's the second consecutive year where the defending Super Bowl champ lost in Week 1. It didn't happen too often before that.
No.
Is this a cause for concern for the Ravens?
Pass defense, yes, but I think it's. A lot more than that. I think the fact that they were trying to replace their emotional leader,
their entire defense. It's like their whole defense.
But it was their emotional leader in Ray Lewis, and then it was the guy in the secondary in Ed Reed. So it was a lot to have to try to. You never expected that because there were only 6. Before Thursday, there were only 5 guys in the NFL who ever threw for that many touchdowns in a game.
Yeah, a little early to press the panic button. I think if you're a Raven or a Raven fan.
Well, yeah, because everybody in the AFC North lost to begin with, so certainly not panic time.
Yeah. Speaking of AFC North, a lot of local fandom, they were disappointed by the effort of the Pittsburgh Steelers yesterday.
It wasn't that was ineptitude.
Or lack thereof effort. They lost to
the Titans. Mike Munchak's Titans.
Mike Munchak, Scranton grad, 16-9. They lost that game. Roethlisberger.
And it was all looking good. The Steelers scored in the first second of the season.
Yeah.
And
one of the most ridiculous safeties I've ever seen on kickoff.
Even more than the Detroit Lions punter running out of the end zone one year.
But they got under 200 yards of total offense.
Yeah.
And it's not like they were dominated in possession. Couldn't run the ball, and I don't think the running game is going to get much better because they lost Marquise Pouncey.
They lost a lot,
their stud center. You know, so they're going to have to work some things out in Pittsburgh, or they very easily could be at the bottom of that division.
Yeah, I would have thought the Browns may find their way out of the cellar this year in the AFC North.
They're sorted.
Some of the bigger games were in the NFC yesterday. You had the 4 o'clock game was probably the main event, even though it wasn't played last. It was Green Bay at San Francisco, both teams are considered to be Super Bowl
contenders,
you know. And that was a heck of a game. That was fun to watch. That was one of the only NFL games I saw yesterday where you felt like both of these teams weren't rusty at all and they were ready to go.
Because you look at it, I mean, how in that perplexed me how the 49ers only gave away a 6th round pick to get Anquan Boldin.
Yeah, I mean, Colin Kaepernick never passed for 300 yards in a single game. But yesterday, he passed for 400 yards, and 200 of them were to Anquan Boldin, who I think the brother handed Boldin off to the other brother for maybe, I don't know.
For a guy who's probably bagging groceries now.
Yeah, Anquan Boldin looked good, and they need him. And Vernon Davis had a big play. Their defense stood up when they needed to. A lot of controversy with Clay Matthews hitting Kaepernick out of bounds.
Well, it was considering the way the game, the playoff game was last year, you knew that the emotions would boil over, at least on the Packers side. Obviously, the controversial penalty, I guess, that they called was, but you can't say a second quarter penalty is be all end all. It's not like the Fail Mary from a year ago.
Yeah. The Fail Mary.
Yeah, the Fail Mary. In any case, Green Bay they lost by 6, 34-28.
Yeah, but it's okay for Green Bay.
I think they're going to be all right.
They did the same thing last year. They lost to San Francisco week 1. But the thing is, that come playoff, because last year it cost, because Green Bay had to go to San Francisco in the playoffs, and we all know what happened.
Really, and that's the good thing about football, as opposed to baseball or basketball, is every week really does count. I know you say it's only week 1, but like you just mentioned, that's a great point.
Is San Francisco the team to beat, or?
And the NFC, I think they're the clear favorites. They really
because Seattle surprised me. They nearly lost that game with Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
I had Seattle as my NFC as actually the team I thought could win the Super Bowl over the Texans this
and
year.
next week, it's Niners and
Niners
in Seattle. So we're going to get that's a nice division game to watch.
Good litmus test right there, right out of the chute.
On other division games, Atlanta visited New Orleans and Sean Payton's comeback tour, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
and New Orleans pulled out the victory, and something happened that didn't happen at all last year. Yeah, because their defense made
your old defensive coordinator from the Cowboys, Rob Ryan.
Yeah, Rob Ryan
came up with the big plays.
Yeah. Handsome fella.
Yeah, he is. He really is. And he's shown on TV more than any other coordinator in the history of the NFL, I believe. But he's fun to watch. Probably, Breeze said they didn't miss a beat, even though Sean Payton was off a year as far as their communication. So New Orleans, they weren't not far removed from a Super Bowl themselves.
That'll take some time for Drew Brees and Sean Payton to really get right back into where they were in 2009.
And they beat a very good team, another contender.
And that's a divisional game. That can mean something. That also can mean something in December.
The Dallas Cowboys and the Giants Sunday night
game. Wow,
that's pretty. See, you can think about breaking that game down, but how do you? Dallas ended up winning 36-31.
I thought it seemed as though Tony Romo and Eli Manning had switched bodies.
I don't know how that's physically possible, being a doctor. I don't know, but we'll go 6 turnovers the Giants had, and you would think they'd have 0 chance to win a game if you turn the ball over 6 times, but they actually had the ball
at midfield at the 2-minute warning, down 6, and to call the safest pass in your playbook a screen pass.
Yep, and it was an unfortunate bounce right into Brandon Carr's red basket. He returned it for a touchdown, and that sealed the deal.
David Wilson just does not like to play the Cowboys.
No. He had a little grease in his fingers all game yesterday, apparently. But you take anything away from that game if you're a Cowboy fan, or what do you take?
I don't. It's one of those. It's one of those. You know what? When they go and play in Giants MetLife later in the year, I don't think you can. That's one of those where it's just one game where the Cowboys were fortunate enough to win.
Fortunate. Yeah, you're right about that.
Even though, like I said, they were the better team.
Something they never did was force turnovers. Last year, they had 16 all year, 6 yesterday, and I don't know if you could say the defense had a stellar effort because they forced them made turnovers, because they still gave up a bajillion yards and offense, so it's one of those games that I think you just throw it out even though you won. Be happy you won.
Take the win, move on, figure out what you're going to do next week.
And they got the Chiefs next week.
You know what, the Chiefs?
The Chiefs look good.
Now to be fair, they did play the Jaguars.
The Jaguars are already changing their starting quarterback, I believe. Blaine Gabbert was a high draft pick. Is out. Chad Henne. Miami Dolphin is in.
Yeah, it's going to be the old Ohio State, Michigan.
Poor Maurice Jones-Drew on that team. That's who I feel bad for. My fantasy running back.
Yeah, I'm surprised they don't. I know they say he's an offensive weapon, but you know what? Let Denard give Denard a chance.
Denard Robinson. Yeah, you're
give him a chance. Can't be any worse than what they have.
Why not Tebow? Why don't we sign Tebow?
No! We do not say his name on this show.
Wow, struck a nerve there.
You hear this, Moose?
Did people try to convert you? It didn't go well, or what? Wow.
No, we made a standing rule. We do not say his name on this show.
Why is he so bad, Mubs?
Yeah, why is he such a bad guy?
No,
He's not a bad guy.
Seriously, why is he not an NFL quarterback?
I don't know.
Well, besides the fact that he can't throw, I'm not sure.
How does he lead the Broncos into the playoffs and then go to nothing? How does that happen?
I think it was divine intervention.
Because he actually ran an offense in Denver that he could run, the read option, but then the Jets signed him and he's cow fodder pretty much.
Yeah.
And then the Patriots take a chance and he didn't do well and they cut.
Alright. Well, and I won't say his name. Do you think he will ever be in the NFL again? As a quarterback? Somebody will take a chance on him. It's not that far fetched for somebody to take, maybe later in the year, someone to take a flyer on. Shout out to our boy Matt McGloin too for making.
Matty!
I know him.
Yep.
Matt McGloin. He's a lot of Matt McGloin fans around this area here.
Yep.
He grew up around the street.
Matty!
Yep.
He's a Raider. The Raiders almost
Former
pulled
Falcon.
yesterday. You know.
Yeah.
Good things. He's on the roster. He wasn't active yesterday, but you know.
But you know what? He's on the rooster.
He's on the rooster.
The Raiders. You know what? The Raiders. Now I know. I mean, I know a lot of people that are Raiders fans, but that was for people to say, "Why show some faith?" I mean, the Bills almost beat the Patriots. Show some faith in your team.
The Jets won.
Yeah.
The Jets won.
Yes.
Well, inexplicably too. I can't.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't. That's why that wasn't in the main discussion because I don't know how that happened. I watched the replay 8 times.
Yeah. But it's week 1. It's gonna. You know what? If that tells us anything, it's gonna be one crazy year.
It always is, and we're glad.
Yeah. Same thing. Yeah.
Now we're glad we have
especially-
something to do on Sunday again.
Yeah. 3 safeties in 30 minutes on Sunday. You know it's gonna be a crazy year.
Thank God you're back, football. We missed you.
Yeah.
Next week, more on college. What's happening? There's a couple good games.
Yeah. Quickly, Mansell against Bama, Dugan. You gonna pick it?
I got Bama by 38.
Bama
in the
by
first half.
38.
In the first half.
I'm gonna say Bama by 14. Big Red. Big
All
Red
right.
puts it on the board.
Well,
I'm getting sick of Mansell. He's a good player. Just don't like all this extracurricular stuff they're talking about him, whether he did it or not. Let the kid can play football. He can play football. I just don't like the extracurricular stuff.
Hear that, Giant Menzel? You better straighten up.
Mubs
Even
will
it-
put you in contempt.
Yep.
And you don't want that. Believe me, I know.
Yep.
That's all we got today for the.
That's all we got
National
for the
news.
National Pro Edition. Congratulations to the Pontypridd Rugby Football Club by beating Cardiff.
Olay.
Yeah.
Olay.
To advance to the pool stages of the 2013-2014 British and Irish Cup with a 22-19 victory over them bums. You can find all about that on episode 40 of the Egg-Shaped Ball, which we are filming tomorrow night. So it should be out the night after that or the night after that. With Pawnee Dragon.
You think we're good enough to try an Olay?
No,
No.
no, my voice ain't up to it either. Coming up after the break, Chuck Knobloch.
Chuck Knobloch.
You're watching Mattyvison.com. We do.